Hello there, and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow together. Well, I am so happy to be with you here today, and I hope that all is well with you on this November Sunday. And I want to just take you on a walk around. Walk with me around the garden, and let's look at the fall garden and see what has happened to the garden. Right now, this side of the garden is looking pretty good. This is what I call my naturalistic style. And you can see that things are looking pretty good here on this side of the garden. But let us take a walk around and see what else is happening in Catherine's Garden and Home LWS. Good morning, and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow together. Well, it is November, and it is a cold November here in the Boston area. And so I'm out here and just enjoying the deck. I did some cleanup work here, and also I've been gathering pots and putting my little propagated plants in these pots to keep them a little snug right now. What I'm thinking of doing is possibly getting some of that good plastic that I have for the garden, and just creating a little nestled spot for them here, so that my hydrangea propagated plants can make it through the winter. And right now the herb plant is doing well. My herb garden there in the pot, it's doing well there. So that's my intention, at least something that I'm thinking about and considering as I start to prep and get things ready here on the deck for the winter. I also have my collard greens here and the Japanese maple. I think I'm going to move the Japanese maple over in the corner there and let it stay on the deck. But these collard greens, I'm going to move them to a spot in the kitchen garden. So let's go on over to the kitchen garden and do a walkabout for November, this second Sunday in November 2024. Today is the 10th of November, and it is very sunny, bright morning here in my English cottage garden in the Northeast Zone 6. And it's amazing how things are still green and alive. We've been getting some really cold temperatures at night, but then it'll warm up to about 50s, maybe 60s. And at some time earlier in last week, it was in the 70s. So it's fluctuating, but the garden is handling it well. And I love how it looks. I love these hydrangeas, the fact that they still have color on them. And this is one of the highlighted parts of the garden here right now. And then as I walk on here, I was so pleased to see this beautiful color on the little seedling here of a oak tree. Of course, I don't want this oak tree to grow here, but right now the leaf color is so beautiful. Look at that. It looks so nice, vibrant and beautiful here in my garden. As you can see, I've tucked here in the corner my my cannas, which I need to take out of the pots before it freezes. And I haven't gotten that far yet, but that's something that needs to be done. Overall, the garden is looking really, really nice. In this cottage garden kitchen area, the birds have been busy. The little sparrow busy eating. The little sparrow's busy eating and getting seeds together. And they really appreciate this side of the garden, the birds. They have been nestling in this area, and it's foraging for food and just staying warm and protected. So the sparrows, the cardinals, the different birds, they loved this area. But of course, it's going to be time soon for me to clean it up, and I know I've been avoiding it, but I need to get with it. The collard greens are doing fantastic. They look good, and I'm just going to clear this area. I think too that the fact that they do have all of this shrubbery around it is helping to keep them a little more protected. But of course, I'm not going to be able to keep it like that for very long. I'm going to need to clean it up soon, at least clean up some of it. Now, of course, this area, this side of the garden needs to be cleaned up too. I don't do a hard clean. I do a really more gentle clean, but I'm still waiting for more of the leaves to die back. And my husband has been so good, so diligent. I think it's so calming for him and relaxing that he does enjoy the raking and putting together and seeing the garden being kept. And also, it works in our favor when you do a little bit at a time versus trying to do everything at once. Now, on this side of the garden, I cleaned up those impatiens that were here, the red impatiens, and I planted instead the tulips. And while I was doing it, I thought I was recording and found out that I didn't record it. But just for reference, right here where the red impatiens were, I planted some red impression tulips that I had gotten from Home Depot, one of those places. And I put them here. So we will have tulips, and I know that there are daffodils still here in this section. So that's something for us to look forward to in spring. But there's a lot to do still, and it's just beautiful. I just love how the garden looks right now for fall. There's so many leaves. You see all those leaves up there? That oak tree. You see all those leaves on that oak tree? That oak tree is usually the last tree to shed its leaves, and sometimes the leaves last as long as January, but it's okay. I mean, I think that it was going to fall sooner than later, but look how beautiful the garden looks. As you know, I love to walk up this side entrance of this upper garden. And I just love to look and see what is happening. As you can see here, though, that I definitely am going to have to do some work here and remove these tomato plants because they're old and done with. Look at that. So this is the next project here to clean this up. Now these dinosaur kale are doing fantastic here. I'm going to leave them there, but definitely I'm going to need to do some work here. I've started to cut back and remove things. Now this is my little fig tree that I'm going to have to move and put into a more protected location. And I'm really happy with how this crush hydrangea, how it has handled the year, and it's growing. And I still have some other plants here that are doing well too, some roses that are there. And it was a good showing for this garden here, this upper garden. They're looking really, really good. I planted in some other things here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some more tulips, and hopefully before the ground really freezes, I'm hoping to plant in those tulips into these beds here, this upper bed. This rose bush that I had in the container here, I wanted to take it up and remove it, but it loves this spot. It actually has grown in, it's grown roots. I'm trying to lift it up and it's rooted in. So I think I'm going to leave it there. But we also have another one that isn't. What I wanted to do is actually move them and tuck them in over here underneath the arborvitaes so that it'll be protected. But we'll see how it goes. And this one is looking really good. This bed, I want to add some more tulips into this. I've ordered some tulips, and there are 50 tulips. So hopefully I will get them in time to be able to just scatter them throughout the garden. And we will have a nice look here in my garden. I think I'm going to add some of those tulips definitely to this bed, so that it will have a nice big flush spring look. Actually, to all of the beds here, this bed, that one, and this one. So I'm looking forward to those tulips coming. But right now I have the chrysanthemums that I planted in, and this was a really good move for this year. This really worked out nice for this fall look at the end of this season. The front here continues to look good with these mums here that I've put in, and they look healthy. They're holding on nicely to their color. So that is good. But do you notice that the peppers are done? Yeah, they're over with, they're done. So I'm going to pull up those peppers. I hope you enjoyed this walk around my garden here at Catherine's Garden and Home. If you enjoyed this walk around the garden with me and this fall tour of my garden, Catherine's Garden, then check out the playlists that are right here that will show you some more of the garden and some of my Sunday walkabouts throughout the season. And I'm sure that you will enjoy it.